Okay, this is from David D. And he wants to know, do you find the culture here a lot different than in the States? And what has been your favorite place to visit in the UK? So I guess they're from the UK.
Somebody abbreviated this question. Raymond must have wrote that in there because I think this is an abbreviated question because I think I read this. Because, like, I do read the YouTube stuff. I read it and then I move it out of my email. So I do read all that stuff. And so I think I remember this. I think there might have been more to this. This might have been, he said, you've used words that only we use in UK culture or something like that. So I think, was that it, Raymond? Did you abbreviate that? Yeah. So that's what it is. So what's up, David D? Hope everything's going good over there in the UK. Do I find, what was the question now? Because I remember it was, what do I find?
Yeah, the culture, like, differences between living in the States and the UK. What's been your favorite place to visit?
UK is one of my absolute favorite places. I actually feel at home there. I don't know if it's, maybe I lived there in some other life or something, but I feel very comfortable in the cold, wet, damp climate, even though I don't like cold and wet and damp, but something about it feels comforting. It feels like home, all the stone roads and Stonewall and the old pubs and the older buildings. It's just, I love it. The culture's very different, especially the word terminologies and slang like that is different. Food is different, you know. Chips would be fries, and crisp would be chips, yeah, and stuff, you know. And just I do use phrases like I have in a Scooby, like Scooby Doo, Clue type of cognitive things, or I love your Chevy, you know, Chevy Chase face. Gregory Peck neck, you know, watch your Gregory, you know, when you're doing something in the ring, you know, stuff like that. But that'd be more of a cognitive thing if you're within the sound of the bell in London or something like that. That's a cognitive thing. But the culture's different. It's very different. Over there, it's where I grew a love for instant coffee. Because, you know, you don't get a lot of brewed coffee over there. It's like instant coffee and tea, you know, so.
The brewed. Sorry, I'm getting an idea.
The brewed brew. There you go.
Brew.
I got to put that all this Gangrel stuff and everything into play. So Gangrel's brewed brew. That would work.
Ooh, that's so good.
Yeah, the culture's extremely different. I think over in the UK, some of the things that you'll see like a little kid that's like 12 with a pint of beer and a cigarette in his hand. You might not see that here. It might be more of the common there. But what things I love about UK is like Sunday roast. So you'll go watch your favorite club play. You know, I was an Everton supporter, so I liked Everton. If there was whatever, you'd watch football that day or soccer, football, or rugby or whatever was on, and then you'd have a Sunday roast. So you either go to your local pub or you go to somebody's mom's or something. Mom. You'd go there. I've spent a few Sunday roasts at Robbie Brookside, his mom's house. Yeah, so they were kind enough to let me in, and the culture's very different, and my friendships last longer with the guys from over in UK than like the wrestlers and stuff. I'm still friends with them. They actually watch this podcast, so hello everybody over there. Like, they'll watch it and say they enjoy it or not, or give their opinion here and there to me. They'll write me, so thank you guys for that. No, I love the UK. Wrestling's different than the wrestling here. It's like a catch and stuff. It's more actual pure wrestling, but they'll have some more. Like they accommodated the roles and stuff in the training here that came from the UK, because they do a lot of things that are roles, but it's also for safety. It's to program your brain to get your brain, you know, everything floats in water, so you automatically, if you trip, you fall, or something goes wrong, you're going to counter. You're just going to instinctively roll, you know, action reaction. If you trip or something goes wrong, and your first action will be the roll, whatever's the natural one. So you program them. A lot of it came from there. So there's tons of things. It's different. But yeah, I love the UK. I was spending, what people don't realize is, like, for the last 20 years, except until COVID hit, I weaned it down the last 3 years prior to COVID to like 1 month tours. But I would do 2 to 3 months, come home for a month, and go back and do another 2, 3. So I was doing like anywhere from 4 to 6 months a year in the UK for up to like 18 years.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I started out on the Ireland tour. As soon as I got released after my broken neck in WWE, Org Williams brung me over, and he asked me if I was open. It was like 3 days after I got released. Like literally, he said, "Are you open?" I was like, "Nobody's gonna know if I go to Ireland anyways." And internet, yeah. So I go, "Yeah, man, I'll come over." And I went. And I did a 3 week or a month tour in Ireland, and for him. And he goes, He always call me Young Dave. Young Dave, do you got anything else planned? I go, no, you're my first booking. I'm home. He goes, well, I'm going to send you over. If you want to go, I'm going to send you over to England to work for Brian Dixon. And I was on this Irish tour with Brody Steele, Big Peter Smith. He's a big guy, 6'8" and stuff. So when we went to Ireland on his first tour, I'll go back to that. We're working for Oric. Like, they had a guy named Doghead. It's like the nicknames in England and the UK are great too. Because this guy Doghead. Like, so Doghead would build these rings, but the ring was like, it might not even have been 12 by 12. So I was working Brody Steele every night, and he's like 6'8". So literally, one of his gimmicks is the big boot, right? So he'd be leaning on the rope one way, and I'd be hitting the ropes on the other side. So we're leaning, and he'd have his boot up, so I could get off it. So I was taking a big boot. We'd both be in the ropes, and I'd come off, and he's so tall. We'd take a boot to be in the center of the ring. It was really comedic to wrestle in that ring every night. But then they started using like James Mason's ring and stuff like that. James, who's like, I think is now with like the what a tremendous wrestler, James Mason. He's with I think he's with the UK version of NXT, all that, the developmental over there and stuff like that, as a trainer or something, or coach, or was, or is, or still is. Or I don't know what the status is, if they're open now over there or what, but they started using his ring, so then the rings went to like a 16-footer, so much more room than a 12 by 12 there. But yeah, he asked me had anything planned, and I go no, and then Peter was going over, Brody Steele was going over to work for Brian Dixon, which was, I think, another 2-month run. I can't remember because I did so many tours over there, but I should remember my first ones, but there was so much drinking in Ireland, and I was a drinker back then, drinking in England, and I would literally put my pint down in the wings of a opera house or something and go out to the stage and do a lot of theaters, right? Like really cool old theaters. That's what's really cool about England too, because you work a lot of theater shows, and they're like really cool, majestic, and spooky and haunted. Awesome. Yeah. So I put that down, go to the ring, and come back and pick up like I settled in way too comfortably over there. My Sunday roasts, my pints every day. But so I went over with Peter, Brody, big Brody Steele, and I don't know if I did a month, 2 months, or whatever it was. It was no more than 2 months that first time. So I did a month in Ireland, and then I did, or 3 weeks in Ireland, and then I did either a month or 2 months there, and then Brian Dixon, great guy. He's probably, this is his 50th year right now, I think, running All Star Wrestling Promotions. This is his 50th year. And, I think he's trying to get me to come back, but I don't know when the borders are opening, of when they're going to get venues, because he wants to finish it. And I guess I would secretly like to finish it off the 50th year tournament. But I love it. I would still go all the time, but being I'm getting married, she wasn't a big fan. So when I started getting with her, that's when I started winging the tours back to like 1 month, 3 weeks, 1 month, 3 weeks. But so I was over there with him, and I worked for Brian Dixon, and the rest is history. Just like, so I'll see you. And this was probably in February or something. So then the summer would be off, because I didn't do the camps. You hear about all these camps they do over there and stuff, the Butlins and stuff. But I didn't do the camps. They were so busy back then. I did all the town shows, and I still wrestled 7 days a week in proper buildings and theaters and towns. And they still, at that time, they had these theaters and towns going, but they also at the same time, like through the summer and through like winter breaks and stuff like that, they had the camps, the holiday camps, where they bring a whole group of different foreigners over to work in places like it's like working in a mall. It's like wrestling in a mall. There's a bar here, an arcade over there. There's a restaurant there. And
sounds
right
great.
in here, they have like young ladies and young men, like you, that can sing in our entertainment industry, and they would be called Redcoats, and they would host these events and different things. And then there was wrestling, so they had the wrestling show and all these different camps. So that was like a circuit too. So they'd roll in, set the ring up, wrestle, take it down, boom, roll to the next camp, and they did that repeatedly for like, they would do 3-week runs or month runs, some in the summer and stuff. So those were going on during the town shows, but I would do the town shows and come in and do a couple camps here and there and watch closer. You're constantly busy, and then so I went home. I think it was probably at the end of February, March. I probably went home, and he said, "I'll see you in like September, right?" So I go back over September, October, right before Thanksgiving. Come home again. So I spend Christmas home. Summer, January, and then back out January, February, March, and then back home again for the summer and back. So like, I don't know, people thought like, because it dropped off the map at night, but I was over in the UK for like the last like 20 years, and 18 of it I was doing almost like 4 to 6 months out of the year over there. So is it safe to say, do I love it? Yes, I love it. Do I love the people of the UK? Yes, I do. Birkenhead's my home there, that's up north, more towards Liverpool, right by Liverpool on the Merseyside over there. That became an Everton supporter via Robbie Brookside. I went over thinking I was going to be a Man U, like, because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers is my American pro football team, right?
Okay.
So the Buccaneers, with the Glaciers owned and stuff, so they own Man United, so I'd hear always about Man United. So then I'd go over there, I had my Man United hat thing, I was going to be cool and stuff, bought that, but no, it turns out I'm an Everton supporter.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I've never been over there. I really, that was.
I think you would love it. You have the skin complexion for it.
Do I would fit in. I want to try haggis.
The only time, what's that?
I want to try haggis.
What's haggis?
It's like sheep stomach.
Oh, really? Why?
Just say I did it.
You say you did it along with the balls too, right? They eat some of that.
I don't want to eat balls.
I don't want to eat sheep balls. You want to eat sheep stomach with no sheep balls?
Yeah, why not?
Or does a sheep have balls or goats have balls? What's it?
I don't. If they're male, they probably both have balls. Anyway,
But no, you would love it there. I think you would love it, and they have a lot of quiz nights, which is trivia nights.
Oh yeah, Bart.
So a lot of all the pubs have a quiz thing, so you would excel over there, and then you get to sing too, and they have a lot of karaoke.
I'm into it.
And everybody has a good time, and and there's not a lot of guns, so you don't hear about anybody getting shot or anything. You might go out. Some dudes might have a little dust up, and that'll be it. They'll come back in and have a pint together and be over it and stuff like that. That's in the, you hear about gangs in the bigger cities, but it's not like here. You don't feel it. It's a really cool place. I love it.
Well, maybe I'll tag along next time you go, and we'll go eat some haggis. And
I'm guessing yeah, you're gonna dig this.
Here we go.
You're gonna dig this. I don't know if I'm supposed to put this out there or not because. Probably guess who's going to Romania in March.
Really?
Bram Stoker, Dracula, everything. So
I'm so
I'm gonna go over there.
jealous.
They're putting a thing together. I forgot to write them back and agree on that money deal.
You should do that.
I forgot. So I got to do that when I leave here because they're probably thinking I'm being a jerk because
I
I asked for one thing and they offered another, but it wasn't. I just got in the shower and was late, right? And so I never answered it back because they're on a different time zone. But yeah, it's looking really good that I'm gonna go over and they want to film. Like a documentary thing, and Bram Stoker's Dracula, and then I'll wrestle a show, and then I'll do a seminar because I have a wrestling school in Romania. So, stoked. Looking forward to that. So, maybe Romania will be my new home because it's close to Bulgaria. So I'm thinking about maybe sliding over and, Matodi, their one student.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell him, listen, tell your parents. Well, he says you don't want to stay at my parents. They're very humble. You want to stay at my friend's house. He has a better house. But I'm gonna say, hey, somebody needs to open the door because I'm gonna go explore Bulgaria too. So. But I'm definitely going to Romania, so I knew you'd get a kick out of that.
I'm so jealous. No. Okay, well, have fun. Have some time, but not too much fun, so you can come back.
Well, maybe this podcast, if we're right there, we have enough subscribers. Maybe we get the minutes up. You guys start watching this thing and stuff. Maybe
Please
we need some money to take this thing on the road.
Let's go.
Yeah, I think the flights are about $2,000.
Yeah,
each
it's not
crazy.
cheap, but.